Hey everybody, welcome into Rock Painting 101. Today we are going to do a fun glow in the dark heart rock painting design. So this is going to look really pretty when it's just out in the open, and it's also going to look really cool at night when it gets dark. You can have these in your house, or you can hide these around town too. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a white heart on our rock. Glow in the dark paints work a lot better on white, or unless you have a very, very white stone, but just putting down a layer of white acrylic paint for whatever design you're going to do first is good. So I will link below. I have a video just talking about glow in the dark paint, like if you've never worked with them before, where I give a lot of little tips and tidbits and lessons learned and things like that with working with glow in the dark paint. But I wanted to do some fun designs as well, once you kind of know what you're doing with them, that you can try out. So again, just a quick white acrylic heart here, and then I'm gonna let it dry. So we'll go ahead and skip forward now to a nice white dry heart. Okay, once your white heart is mostly dry, I'm going to work with just 3 of my glow-in-the-dark colors here. I am going to be painting right out of the lid, and some of the colors might get a little mucky up here, but I still feel like when I do this, sometimes I use less paint than if I were to pour these paints onto like a palette. So I can just rinse out my lids when I'm done with this project and dry them really well and just put them right back on my paint. So I'm just going to start in my pink here, and we're going to do lines that follow the heart on either side, but not necessarily connect them. So again, we're not going to overthink our lines. We're just going to trace the shape like that on one side. And as if you have hearts that are getting smaller and smaller and smaller, trace a heart shape kind of on the other side like that. Now I've got 3 different brushes over here. My paints might end up mixing together a little bit, but I'm gonna at least try to keep the colors separated as I get started here for these first main lines. So let's do this one all the way out. It's okay if you go out over the edge on this design as well. You do wanna sometimes make sure you have that paint on nice and thick. I'm not sure if it's just the brand I have or just kind of glow in the dark paints in general, but they are on the thinner side. So let's go way out on the edge here with the blue, like that. And you can have some of them that are just lines in certain areas as well, like that blue doesn't have to go the entire way around. You can kind of mix and match here. So I'm gonna add a blue here. And then we're really gonna just go back and forth between the colors, filling in this heart. Eventually we will start kind of crisscrossing over each other. So just kind of come in between. Again, if I get a little bit of the other color on there, I'm okay, but I'm trying not to blend too much on my brushes. But we'll just work our way around here. Filling in all of our white. So as I work my way through this now, I will pan forward so you can watch though at the same time. We're just gonna go back and forth between our colors until we like the look of our heart. Now, as you see at the very end here, I am using a nice small brush to come in and add some last little streaks and stripes where I want that color to be. I'm just kind of wiping it off on a washcloth over here just to pull off the extra paint before I go into my other colors. As long as you're loading up the paint good and you're not really stirring, you're not gonna get much of those other colors into your paint. Do at your own risk. You can always just pour onto a palette as well. If you don't feel comfortable doing this, that's fine. I use these paints only for rock painting, so it's not like I need them to be 100% pure. Anyways, so that's it. Isn't that cute? It looks great in the light. It's gonna look really cool when we turn off the lights here. I'm gonna let this dry completely, and then we will show it glowing in the dark. Now with a rock like this, obviously you can let the first layer dry and do a second coat on it as well. I feel like it's pretty thick, but sometimes I like to test it with the lights off first and see where it's at glow-wise, and if you feel like it needs it, you can go back in and add second layers. But as long as you've got most of that white covered, you should be okay. Now a rock like this, you can obviously add some words to as well. Something I am gonna do here quick at the end, just to get a kind of fun little last touch, is I'm gonna take the white glow-in-the-dark paint that I have and do some dotting, just a few little accent dots along the edges here. So let me grab my dotting tool, go right in here, get a nice little dollop of paint, and I'm gonna do a few up here. And remember, you're just placing those dots, so it's okay that your paint's a little wet still. And we're gonna just do a few down here on this side at the bottom. Just like that. That's it. We're gonna let this dry completely, like I said, and then we'll be back and I'll show it to you glowing in the dark. And there it is glowing. Just so cool. So I hope you enjoyed this rock painting tutorial. I will link to another fun glow in the dark one here at the end. Bye-bye.